Hi, everyone. Mitch from sportschatplace.com and pickdogs.com. And it is Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022. Here with your live show. We try and go live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Yesterday, we had a problem. And, those happen from time to time. It's the world of tech, the world that we live in today. It was kind of a combo problem, I would say, yesterday. Right, Joe? It was,
Yeah.
I was doing the premium pick show with Joe, and I was going to do a show when I got home. It takes about 6 hours, so I would have been able to get something in between, like, drive through and all that other stuff, just a short something. And I'm talking to Joe and Brian. We're doing the premium show, and I get a notice that my flight is delayed 4 hours. So we could have actually just done the live show right there in the airport at the time, but I was just flustered. And then what happened after that was, after sitting in the airport for 4 more hours, they canceled my flight and they rescheduled it for 2 a.m. This morning, Las Vegas time. And I got in at 5 a.m. Maui time. So it's actually an hour after when we're normally coming off the air. It was it is what it is. That's what travel is. That's why we hate it. And, I know Joe gets excited about travel. I dread it. It's like, because I've had things like this happen before.
I've never had a flight canceled or delayed, ever.
If it's canceled due to weather or delayed due to weather, they do not pay for your hotel. They do not pay for your transportation. They do not give you vouchers. They do not give you anything.
Oh, wow.
If it's a mechanical issue like this was, they put you up in a hotel. They give you food vouchers. They give you a travel voucher for future flights, all kinds of stuff. But doesn't.
I'm glad they took care of you.
Yeah. I'd rather just go home. I really wanted to go home. I don't think the $36 in food vouchers, quite covers the aggravation. I don't know if you've eaten at a Las Vegas casino recently, but $36 is like, you don't even get the second scoop of ice cream for that.
Did they have cookie dough ice cream at least, Mitch?
I yesterday was the first day I didn't have ice cream. I just I ate a 6-inch Subway sub, which was really about 4 inches, to be honest with you. And I went to bed and I slept. So yesterday after our show, I slept for 3 to 4 hours in the American Express lounge. I went into a chair as one of those people, and I'd never been able to do that before. And then I went back to the hotel and I slept until almost midnight.
Crazy.
So really all day. And then I got on the plane and I slept the whole way on the plane except for the last 45 minutes. So I don't know.
Wow. That's a lot of sleep for you.
It's a lot. I mean, this is how far behind I am. But I'm really excited to be able to do the show today, and to at least be able to do something. I know it's unscheduled. It's at a different time. Tomorrow we'll be coming back at our regular time, and then we'll be figuring it out together as to what time the show will be going forward. More than likely, moving it back about a half hour or so, maybe a little bit more, depending on what Joe schedules. I know Joe has a conflict in there about some days, around 10:45. So it's like, if we start at 10:45, or I could start it, maybe do betting tools show before, and then come back and do like I'll do the 7 free picks in just 5 minutes, then betting tools, and then ours.
That would be perfect.
Yeah. Got a call from Sauce yesterday out of nowhere.
Okay. Good call.
And it was out of the blue. Nice. And the Sauce called me. I was in the hotel.
Yeah.
And he said, first he said, I can't believe you hung out with Jay Money and you didn't come see me. And I said, well, we were in Vegas, not on the East Coast. And he was like, oh. So I was like, we were good. And then he said, I love your betting tools. He's like,
awesome.
When I explained to him last summer about the betting tools, and I explained them to Joe too before she joined us, and I explained it to a lot of people what we were doing. Yeah. It's very, very hard to explain something on that magnitude, right? It was just like, no one's gonna be able to copy it, no one's gonna be able to do anything. And actually, the Sauce said he spoke to 10 different programmers at least to try and do something, even like a slimmed down version of our props. And he said every one of them said no chance.
Wow.
Yeah. He's like, no, they were all like, no chance. They're like, this is millions of dollars.
Awesome.
So he's super discerning, He's a great guy. I really like
Yep.
him, and I've always said that. And I know that we're competitors, but we're not, we compete, we're competitors, but we're not competitors.
Yeah.
It's like we're still, I respect him, it's like, which is unlike a lot of our other competitors, right? But I just thought it was, I thought it was pretty interesting that he said that, and that, you know, coming from him, like I said, is really big because he's tough cookie
Okay.
when it comes to this stuff. He does not like what the other people do in our industry. It's like
Okay.
he calls them out. Like this
Yeah.
site's really slipping. He's more on top of it than I am. I'm too busy. This show started about 10 minutes ago, exactly what the timer says, but we haven't had a chance to give any picks. We're just kind of trying to. We didn't give a notice that we were going to come on. I said we were going to try and do something today, so we're just giving it a little bit of time to let people notice. And there's not a ton of games today, but we are going to go over them. Joe, we're down to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament. We haven't really had a chance to talk about this either.
Yeah.
And of course, Mike Haynes alive and well. I think, when a team puts together a performance like they did, I thought on Sunday, the two most dominating performances were Miami and Houston. Clearly, just suffocating defense by both teams. And, when push came to shove, they basically took over those games. But this next game against Iowa State is not generally a spot where Miami has thrived over the years. They generally rise up to the occasion against the Dukes, the North Carolinas, the big bad bullies. But when it comes to these teams, these other grinders is where they have struggled. But Jim Larinaga, we saw him drop the game plan against Auburn, and I mean, they wanted out. Auburn, they had no answers. They did not come out the second half on fire, ready to take them down. I mean, they wanted out. And, I think teams like Iowa State generally have traditionally given them problems in the past. But I thought that Miami's performance on Sunday was the best performance in the history of Miami basketball.
That's great.
It was the biggest win in
Yeah.
program history for sure. We've been to the Sweet 16 before. What a lot of people don't realize is that Miami really has only been playing basketball for about 20 years. They never had a basketball
Only been
program.
20 years?
Well,
Wow.
they had basketball like back in the early
Yeah.
70s and in the 60s. Then they stopped playing basketball all the way through to like the 80s or 90s. So maybe like 20, 30 years, but not like some of these other programs that have been playing forever.
Okay. So we have Miami as a favorite on Friday, 2.5-point favorite. Do you think we'll see any line movement on this, Mitch? Like, is this one where if you like Miami, you should probably get in now, or do you think you should wait?
I wouldn't bet it.
You wouldn't bet it? Gonna stay off this one?
So Miami, their big player that they had gotten when they restarted the program, his name was Tito Horford. And it was like a big get for them when they started, he was out of the Dominican Republic. So, but his son is Al Horford.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure this out. I was wondering if there was a relation. So I'm trying to figure out what year Miami actually started basketball. So, yeah. So then Tito Horford was enrolled at Houston, and he was ruled ineligible. And then he went to LSU, and he was kicked off the team, and then he went to Miami. But this was 1989, 1990. So that's when Miami started basketball, 1990. So it's about 32 years in, which is, a decent amount of time, but it's not, the 100 years that these other schools have been playing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty incredible for what they've done.
Well, I think Jim Larinaga just did a great job there. I don't really know about this game coming up. I'm gonna have to wait and see how it goes. Miami generally this season has been way better in the underdog role than as a favorite.
Okay.
So I think there's some public momentum here behind them. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best, but I'm preparing for the worst.
Oh, it's always a hard statement to say.
Well,
I
UNC is
feel you
still
on some of
alive.
those, yeah.
So there's a comment here. UNC is still alive. Miami beat them by 28. They were up by 27 at halftime against them. Yet North Carolina was a higher seed in this tournament. It just goes to show you, how is Houston a 5 seed? How is that
Yeah,
even
exactly.
possible? I mean, they look like a pro team, and they're missing their two best players are injured, and they still continue to roll on. Every excuse in the world,
Yeah.
to quit, and they just didn't do it.
Yeah, out of
But
those 4 games on Friday, Mitch, that's the game with the most movement because Miami did open as a 1-point favorite in that, now at a 2.5, and that total's gone from 36.5 down to, 136.5 down to 133.
we got to give Jim Larinaga all the credit in that one because he is just probably the most underrated coach out there. Um, Miami was disrespected all season long. They were an underdog. Miami and Creighton, I think, were the most times where they were an underdog that won outright, and it's in a big conference this season. But Jim Larinaga, he took George Mason to the Final Four. They beat UConn, who was the number one overall that year, to get there. So
Yeah.
it's not that big of a reach for him. I mean, this is much more than he's had to work with, but I just thought the game plan against Auburn was just ridiculous. I mean, off the chain. And, I said it on Sunday's show that I really liked, Miami's chances and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And, I said that they had a great coach. And, Big Al said, well, Bruce Pearl is a pretty good coach too. I was like, well, yeah, he is, So,
Yeah.
but, Iowa State has the coach that was the coach for UNLV, and he left and took the Iowa State job. Iowa State had 2 wins all of last year, and now
Yeah.
they're in the Sweet 16. So hats off to them too. A 10 versus 11. I didn't think Iowa State was a very good team. And then the other side of the bracket played out exactly true to form with the 1 playing the 4. So this side of the bracket was totally busted up, and the other side is the 1 versus 4 in that region. And then on the other one, it's the 3 versus the 15. And the 4 versus the 8. So the 1 and 2 both gone in that one as well. So it just shows to show you that the committee that makes these decisions doesn't really know what they're doing.
Now, Mitch, talking about the brackets and everything, I was pleasantly surprised to see everything that you have on March Madness over on Sports Chat Place and how nicely that's all laid out there.
Yeah, it's like,
So,
well, the thing is, we didn't have a lot of time.
yeah,
We've really been working on the tools, and we have other things. We have a long-term thing that we're doing with the tools, and we're kind of not just going to stop what we're doing for the tournament. We love the tournament, and next year will be bigger and better, and just blow everybody else out of the water. But we didn't do as good a job, I think, as some of the other sites did. And congratulations to them. But most of those other sites are just geared up to try and get you to sign up to a sports book, not to actually deliver you the information that you need and that's going to help you win. It's all geared their own by these European, Nordic companies out of like, Sweden and Denmark and places like that. And the whole thing is just to get you to click on their sportsbook offers and get you to sign up. It has nothing to do with delivering you the best product. And that's,
absolutely.
we're more concerned with delivering you the best product. And by doing that, we figure we'll get the numbers, we'll get enough people, we'll get all those things that it'll organically, be part of what you do as you make your bets. You'll sign up for the sports books, through us, as opposed to those guys that are they could care less about you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a
So,
bunch of
Mitch,
paid employees out there in front of the camera for those companies.
yeah, it's so true. So, Miami, if they take the next game, who would you rather them see face, Providence or Kansas?
Kansas.
Okay.
We want to
Better
go.
chance against Kansas?
I don't know. I don't think we have a better chance against either of those teams, but I would like to play Kansas.
Okay.
I just think it would be I think in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. Or if you want to be the woman, you got to beat the woman. So it's like we don't want the easy route. We want to say we beat Auburn, we beat Kansas, we beat everybody. We didn't get the break where the one got beat. We got the easy road and slid in the back door. We played the 11, Iowa State. And then, it's like we didn't have to play Kentucky or we didn't have to play this. It's like, no way. We'd rather take Kansas on. If they beat us, we lost to Kansas, right? If we beat them, we beat Kansas. And that's really what you wanted. That's the Miami mentality. And that's what a lot of other people they don't understand. That's why Brian doesn't understand, like, when we do the shows and stuff. And,
Yeah.
he just doesn't, he's not part of the culture. But the Miami fans in the audience, I know we have tons of them from the 305. They fully understand this, is that this is the mentality. It's like, we don't want the easy road. We want the road that's going to say, we did it. We don't want any breaks because we're never going to get any breaks. We're a 10 seed that beat North Carolina and Duke. Duke, we beat Duke at Duke. We beat them, we were a lot bigger underdog than North Carolina was when they beat them. And North Carolina, like I said, we were up by 27 at halftime on them.
So who would you like to see come out of the South then to take on? Like, you guys go all the way. Who would you like to see out of the South that you battle?
Which is the South?
You got Arizona, Houston, Michigan, and Villanova.
I think Houston would be the toughest matchup for us. I think that would be the toughest of those. I think Villanova would be tough because they could shoot over the top of us. We're not going to get calls against Michigan. All of those schools are going to be tough for us. Every one of them. Yeah. We would never get the calls against Michigan.
No.
We really have to beat them. Villanova, it's like when they're shooting, from the outside. We lost to Virginia Tech twice this year. So, it doesn't bode well for us against Villanova. Houston is similar to us. It's really similar to us. And Arizona, I think, is probably the beatable team of those.
Okay.
I think Arizona of those, even though they're the number one, it's the worst of those. On the other one, Gonzaga, Arkansas, Duke, Texas Tech. Once again, Texas Tech is similar to us.
Yep.
Duke, we know we can beat. We beat them already.
That Arkansas. Would be awesome.
They beat us one. We beat them. They beat us by 4 on a neutral court. We beat them at Cameron. Arkansas depends on what Arkansas you get, and Gonzaga is Gonzaga. So you just don't want to be on the wrong. I think that Miami can play a game that could. I think that they could play a style that could frustrate Gonzaga too.
Okay. That would be
we
good.
We really saw Miami dictate the pace. Yeah. They took the full 30 seconds. They, did run out on the steals. If they got the steal, they did run outs, every single time. They had, I think, 27 fast break points. And then on the other side of it, they used the full 30 seconds.
Yeah, they did. They did a fantastic job of owning that court. That's for sure.
So Joe, I didn't do the 7 free picks in just 5 minutes today because I just explained to everybody the day that I've had. So one day out of how many? I mean, how many days have I done this? I mean, it's like, so someone puts there, no 7 picks in 5 minutes anymore. I mean, one day I've missed it out of, I mean, you know what? We don't want you on our channel anymore. That's what I think.
You've been off the plane for what? Maybe an hour now?
Yeah, and the first thing that I do, it's still 7 o'clock in the morning here. I got off the plane at 5:15.
Yeah.
Okay. I unpacked my luggage to put some stuff, and then I had to re-put together the studio because I had taken lighting with me, which also was a whole nother nightmare. I got pulled over, to the side on the thing because they didn't have the TSA pre-check at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I had to go through the regular. So my bags got pulled to the side because I had studio lighting and things like that in there. So they go through there and all my dirty clothes, which is, you can imagine what 5 or 6 days of dirty clothes look like in Vegas. Anyways, they go through, they're holding it up, it's like, yeah, good times. And this guy is saying, you don't do it anymore because I missed one day when there's 8 games total. Yeah. Seriously, man. I love all you guys, but that's just unfair.
Yeah,
it's unfair, man. It's not like we charge you for it. It's not like, it's anything. It's like, I love doing it, but it's like, when exactly was I supposed to do this? Tell me when, tell me, block off a time where I could have done that. And believe me, if there was one, I would have done it. Right. Everyone knows that.
So absolutely.
But to say you're not doing it anymore because you missed one day of it. And it's like, jerk, man.
Yeah. Oh man, I was stressed yesterday when we were doing the premium combo VIP show, and you kept taking your mask down in the airport. I was just waiting for someone to come up and say something to you. I was trying to give my premium pick. I was like, oh God, no one come look at Mitch, because you'd look sideways. And I was like, oh no, they coming for you? It's crazy. I think you give our audience everything that you've got.
And the thing is, from the seven free picks, it's kind of like what DLO, who I'd never even heard this guy before in the comments at all.
Yeah.
But everybody knows this. The 7 free picks come 100% from the betting tools. So there's nothing preventing you from going to the betting tools and picking 7 picks out of there. That's all I do, is I just go through there. I pick out 7 picks from the betting tools. That's all I do. And then I just do it as my 7 free picks in just 5 minutes. I pick a random 7. If there's there's always way more than 7. And I just pick 7 of them. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. There's nothing. It's like, I encourage you to do it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I hate when people it's like, hey, how come there? How come there was no 7 free picks today? I missed it. If you said something, there's not going to be it anymore. We call that a drama queen. Speaking of drama queens, Joe, let's go to the NBA and get some picks out of here. I gotta go. I gotta take a shower. I haven't even taken a shower. It's like, mess.
Oh, off an airplane without a shower. That's never fun.
It's like, I'm new.
Yeah.
What betting tool? If you go to sportschatplace.com, click on betting tools. We have the best betting tools. Go to players, click props, all sorts of stuff. I don't know how to do share screen because Joe's got the controls today, but I would show you guys. I'm going to do it. I'll do a betting. I started doing a betting tool show last week, and then when I started traveling, it made it kind of impossible. But I am going to start doing the betting tool show, and it's going to be early. And then this way, people have all day to see it. We've got the Warriors taking on the Magic. We've got the Knickerbockers. Same thing with Dog of the Day. I got to let that slip away as well. But everything will return back to normal tomorrow, I promise.
You were in Vegas. Everyone knows you're in Vegas.
A lot of people, when they travel, everything stops. They don't do videos. They don't do anything at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we did, we kept rolling.
We did. That's for sure.
Knicks versus the Hawks. Got the Bucks versus the Bulls, and the Chicken Nuggets taking on the Clippers. Joe, any of these 4 do anything for you?
You know what? I don't absolutely love the NBA today. I got a couple premiums for free picks. Got to lean on the Knicks plus those 3 there. That line has moved up 1.5. I like them at plus 1.5 this morning as well. I just think they're rolling too strong, going 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 games. And the Hawks, they have struggled on the road, going 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games. So like the Knicks, I think that's going to be a lower scoring one as well. And then let me look at this line of the Bulls. Yeah, up to 7.5. Now, I was leaning on the Bulls originally at plus 6.5, so I'm going to stay with them here. 7.5. I think they just need to get things turned back around, and I think they need to keep this tight. They're off a big game last night, big win, and I think they come in with some momentum. I don't think they win it here, but I think they keep it tight enough against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks won this last matchup by those 6 points. I can't remember when that last game was, but pretty recently, if I can remember right. And I think we got a lower scoring one in this. We got a total of 231, unless that's moved. Yeah, 234. I think we go under that number. I think we're going to see more defensive plays in this, and both these teams trend so nicely to that under. So give me the under. What do you like in these 4, Mitch?
What time's Puckin' Crazy today?
It is at 3:30 Eastern.
Who's on?
You. No. You're like, what?
It's not a great day for me to
better.
be on Puckin' Crazy. I might misspell the name a couple times.
Tony Brown is definitely on tonight. I was gonna reach out to Chris Ruffalo and see if he wanted to come on, but I was gonna say, like, is he back from Vegas or is he still down there?
No, he's still there, but he might do it though, because he's got to get ready for the drive-through anyway.
Okay, I will see if he's around, but
11 NHL games today.
Yeah, there's so many. And Mitch, the trade deadline was yesterday. Huge movement. I know you don't really follow the NHL much, but do you remember the name Marc-Andre Fleury of the Blackhawks? He was with Vegas before.
Yep, I was in Vegas. They were all over the news about the trade.
Yeah, so to the Wild, like it's
It was
Absolutely
on the
ins
regular. It was on the regular news, like the lead-in story.
Yeah, that's it's phenomenal. And then, Mark Giordano, I can't say it, I always just call him, Gio. He was with the Calgary Flames, he went to the Seattle Kraken in the expansion, and now he's gone to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and for those, like, 2 trades are just huge.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give my NBA and then we'll come back to this. I like the Magic today against the Warriors. I just think that they're playing well, and the Warriors not playing so well, kind of limping into the postseason. There's 82 games in an NBA schedule, so you just got to do quick math when you do these. So the Magic are at 72 games, so they only have 10 games left in the regular season, including tonight. The Warriors have 11 games left, 47 and 24. That would put them at 71 games in an 82 game season. So, you have to look at the standings in the NBA, but it seems that teams care less and less about this home court and more about being healthy.
Mm,
The reason being is that they figure if they're healthy, they can steal one on the road. And if you can steal one on the road, then it's golden. But you know, um, the one thing you want to do is if you can is avoid the play in. And so it's the teams that are on the borderline here for the play-in are the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. The Nuggets just a half game lead, but it's in the loss column. So they control their own destiny for the 6th spot in the West over the Timberwolves. So you just kind of need to keep these things in the back of your mind. Now in the Eastern Conference, it's a little bit more clear cut for the final playoff spot with the Hawks in the 10 spot, 5 games clear of the Washington Wizards. So they're going to make it. And and the Knicks as well, they're 5 games clear. But the Knicks, any chance that they have to catch the Hawks, they need to win tonight. They
yeah,
got a head-to-head chance, so they will get a full game on them. It'll put them 4 in the loss column behind them. So it is a giant chance here for the Knicks. The other thing that you look at here in the Eastern Conference is the Raptors are in the 7 spot. They're at 40 and 32, and the Cavaliers in the 6 spot are 41 and 31. So it is a full game there, but it's just one in the win and one in the loss. So it's like if they get the help or if they get a head-to-head against the Cavs, they can flip-flop, and that's to get into the out of the play-in. So it's
yeah.
like your actual seeding in there. It's the playoffs. You're only going to play good teams, right? You're only going to play
Mhm.
good teams. So, um, the thing is here that you want to avoid the play-in though. You know,
Yeah,
you it doesn't matter if you're a 6 seed or a 2 seed, but a 2 seed you'll play a play-in team. But the play-in teams like it could be the Brooklyn Nets at full strength, with
totally could be.
Kyrie and Kevin
Yeah,
Durant and everybody, are the eight right now. The Hornets are the 9. The Hawks, who we saw, march through the playoffs last year, are the 10, and the Raptors are the 7. So even the 1 or 2 doesn't get you clear, but the Bucks and the Sixers are tied for that number 2 seed. So hopefully this isn't like going over everybody's head and everything like this, but Brian talks a lot about motivation. Oh, they got these guys up next and these guys up next. And sometimes he kind of like loses sight of the big picture motivation, which is stuff like this, where it's like there really is no tomorrow. There is no
yeah,
looking ahead to the next game, because even if you are looking ahead to the next game, and it might be against one of these teams that you're directly competing with for one of these spots, you need to win this game to make that game meaningful. It's the old Pete Rose. It's those
yeah,
games in April that make those games in September all that much more meaningful. They count the same. And it's true. It's like we don't agree with everything Pete Rose says and does, but we don't mind the gambling thing. But it's like some of the other stuff, that he
yeah,
does. But yeah. So we, always, especially at this time of year, take a look at this, because these are the teams with a lot to play for, and there are teams that don't have much to play for at all,
yeah, like the Houston Rockets.
like the Houston Rockets.
Poor Rockets. Wow, what a terrible season they've had.
Well, if anything, the Rockets are just a game ahead of the Magic and the Pistons for the top seed, for the lottery,
That's
for
true.
the biggest weighting in the lottery, while the Magic and the Pistons both have 19 wins apiece. But back to this, the Warriors are in the 3 spot, and they're very comfortable in there. They're 2 in the win and 1 in the loss to catch Memphis for the 2, and then they're 2 ahead of the Jazz in the win and 3 in the loss. So they're in pretty good shape in that number 3 spot where they are. And it's, let's just say, if we don't know what Steph Curry's actual physical condition is, but let's just say they're so comfortable in that spot, they're like, he's not playing, for a
Yeah,
while.
absolutely. Get him healthy completely. Yeah, interesting couple of weeks of basketball left, Mitch.
But the Bucks and the Sixers. So here's the game, that which I have a point. I know people sometimes say, talk
You
about
always have a point. We know it.
People say give the picks. Yeah, Steph Curry is out. People say, get to the picks or whatever. Well, this is the whole thing, how I get to the pick. It's like we can just spit out picks. Anybody can do that. We do that on the videos, and we were criticized for doing that by some jerk face in Texas. But but here I'm trying to show you guys exactly why I'm picking these things. Mm-hmm. So I gave out the Bucks in my video against the Bulls, and the way that I got there was just simply this. The Bucks are 44-27 for the 3 spot. The Sixers are 44-27 for the 2 spot. So it's not only these opening round matchups, especially it's like the NCAA tournament after the opening round. Seeding goes out the window. When there's 4 teams left in each conference, they're all good. Trust me on that one. But the thing is that it will determine that home court advantage, and if you can hold serve. The Sixers haven't been that great at home this year, but the Bucks have 24-12. They have to win tonight.
Yeah,
they have to win. The Bulls are 2 games ahead of the Cavs in the loss column and 1 in the win column, and they're not going to catch the Celtics. They're one behind the Celtics in the loss and 3 in the win. So it's a lot of work there, and the Celtics are playing pretty well. I just think that the Bucks, just everything points to the Bucks in that game against the Bulls tonight.
Okay. Going to be great games. It's only 4, but they should be really good.
Yeah, I never worry about who's playing and who's not playing unless, because the line will always move to reflect that.
Absolutely.
Always will.
You're still checking those injury reports, though.
There's some terrorists on YouTube. Just figure I'd throw that out there. It's terrorists,
Yeah, there is, for sure.
Morons,
Yeah, there absolutely is.
I don't mean like in our live comments of the show. I meant like in the regular comments.
Yeah.
Which I go through them, and it's like, I have no idea.
I don't know why. My daughter just pulled up at my house. Can you just give me 1 second to open the front door?
I don't think so.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
She can wait outside. I'm going to
remove myself for 1 second. I don't know why. Hang on.
Wait outside till the show is over. I'll go on a filibuster. Anyways, I guess Joe didn't agree with me on that. But anyways, so looking at these, when we get to this point of the season, 10, 11 games left to go in the regular season, a lot of teams with a lot to play for, a lot of teams were more in their best interest to rest guys that might not be 100%. So keep that in mind as we go forward over the next couple of days. But we go to college hoops. Maybe I'll do a 7 free picks in just 5 minutes, just for the hell of it, or betting tools or something. I don't have that much time, right?
Today?
Yeah.
Nice. I like it.
Let's go to college hoops. And there are 5 games today, and most of these games came up pretty late, as far as the lines went up. So I didn't really put anything out on these, but we got Virginia taking on St. Bonaventure. We got Northern Colorado against Wilmington, who put together a great comeback yesterday. I was on the wrong side of that thing. Abilene Christian, who took down Ohio yesterday, up against Middle Tennessee, who bounced my Terriers out of town. Got UTEP taking on Southern Utah, who hasn't been a great cover team, but they've been in the favorite role a lot. And then we've got Xavier taking on Vandy. So Xavier always tough at home at the Cintas Center.
Yeah, it's hard not to roll with them here in this one at home. So I think what we're going to see out of both those teams, they both have great defenses. I think I'm more comfortable taking the under, even though the offenses can get those points up there. I think we're going to have both their defenses come out nice and strong in this one. So I'm going to go that way with that one. And then I think I'm going to have to lean on UNC Wellington in this one. They are 13-3 against the spread in their last 16 games versus teams with winning straight up records. And I think they come in the 2.5. I'm not absolutely loving the 2.5. I wonder what juice you're paying on that money line. I might just money line that one. I think that one comes down to a point. Either way, last possession of
140.
that ball.
140.
Yeah, that's probably the limit I'd take on that. I'd take it on the money line. And then give me the under between St. Bonnie's and Virginia. I think this is just going to be a defensive, slower paced game. And I love the under. The Bonnies are 5-2 in their last 7 to that under, and 10-4 in their last 14 as a road underdog to that under. And the Cavs 7-3 in their last 10 as a home favorite to the under. So I like the under a lot there. What about you, Mitch?
I like Xavier against Vanderbilt. I think they beat them. We've seen Pippen Jr. slumping since the SEC tournament, and he busted out of it last game against Dayton, scoring 32. But with him scoring 32, Wright only scored 5. So it's kind of like Wright. It's either Wright or Pippen. We haven't seen both. And what we've seen in the bigger tournament, the one that we care more about, is that the Big East has far outperformed the SEC. Far outperformed them, and I can just see that that happening here as well. The fact that Vandy's not at home anymore either. They had tremendous turnouts. They lucked out that Dayton had their arena booked and was unable to host that game because they would have been the host. They beat them in overtime, and now that they have to go on the road, I don't like their prospects so well. So I'm going to take Xavier at the Cintas Center. Cincinnati's a basketball town. They freaking love their college hoops. So I'm going to take Xavier. Would have done that as a premium probably. And I don't know. I kind of like Virginia with the points.
Okay.
Against St. Bonnie's. I think the game's going to be close, and we know that St. Bonnie's is not going to hit their free throws down the stretch. They don't do that. We saw them clunk them. So I'm going to take those two out of these college hoops plays. But anyways, we just wanted to do a show today. We didn't want to skip the show or something like that, and and not do it. Get out of the thing. It's not our normal time. This will not be the normal time. But I'm going to resume back tomorrow with my 7 free picks in just 5 minutes. In fact, I might just do one today on spite alone. Because the guy that just made that comment. I don't understand how people can make that kind of assumption based on that. I think, why would you make that? It's like I don't even understand it. It's like I never say that to someone. Oh, because you didn't do it. I guess you're never gonna do it again. It's like,
man, my kids would think I was never cooking dinner again if that was the case.
Joe, I last night, okay, I mean, I was dead to the world, and I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go on live. I know no one's gonna know that I'm coming on live, and then probably no one will see it live. I'm gonna do a video and I'll explain to everybody what's going on, just so it's not. There's no confusion. There's no anything like this, right? I went on and I did it. The video was how long? Let me see.
Yeah, I watched it this morning. I was like, oh, I missed that too. Yeah.
And you can see I'm dead tired, right? It's called an update from Mitch, showtimes, etc. Right? Really not a lot to it. It was free, I did it live. I don't know. A lot of people commented, they thanked us for it.
Yeah.
So it was I don't get it, but It doesn't mean we're not doing shows. It doesn't mean any of those things. It means that I was stuck in a hotel I would have never stayed at. And I'm not saying like, I'm not grateful that they put me up in a hotel or, that I haven't stayed in a lot worse than that. Believe me, I've stayed in some roach motels, I've stayed in some, as we call them, my wife and I call them goat ranches, you know.
Oh man, a couple summers ago, a friend and I went on a road trip, but we had my kids. Actually, she met us on a vacation road trip that I was doing with the kids. And we decided to divert from the beautiful like Airbnb we were staying at the bottom of a ski resort and go to this country concert, which meant we had to find a hotel after it because it was an outdoor, like all day thing. And so I had the kids and they were just terrified walking into, one of those drive up kind of motel ones where you you're not going into a lobby or anything. The door is right on the street. My kids had never stayed in anything like that before, and I don't think they ever will again. It just terrified them completely.
Sounds like
So
they're a little soft.
fun.
We would,
They were.
for us, we would have
They
taken
were.
whatever we could get.
Well, my son moved like furniture in front of the door. He was terrified because we were right like street level. Thought something definitely was going to happen to us that night. He didn't sleep a wink.
Well, I'm going to use the parlay builder to do my parlay for today since I have to say, I don't generally come, throughout the years of doing this, I haven't really ever made excuses or cried like, about how hard I work or any of those things. You hear other people say, "Oh, we worked really hard on this," and people are like, "Oh, you work so hard," and all that stuff. And I never like say anything about it, but you know, when you get thrown the curveballs like this, there's just nothing you can do. And it's like
No.
I think we did a pretty good job of it. It's like to cover it, to come on here. Joe was just like, "Yeah, hell yeah." I was like, "I'll go on by myself." Joe's like, "No way, I'm coming." Kidding?
Yeah.
Like, it's like Joe always takes it when I say I'll just do it by myself, meaning like, I don't want to bother you. She always takes it like the you don't like me anymore.
I know.
It's
I sit here and almost start to cry.
she's like, it's always like the what? You don't like me anymore? I'm coming. Anyways, I'm taking the Orlando Magic on the money line here, the Arizona Coyotes on the puck line. That's plus 215. I'm taking the St. Louis Blues plus 125 and the Chicago Blackhawks at plus 102. $10 pays 493.93. That's my pick dogs parlay for today. 4-teamer I'm giving out. I got it. I went to the sports shop place. I took out tennis. I eliminated tennis from the parlay. I put in 14 parlay, clicked on generate parlay, and that's what came up. So it is the Orlando Magic on the money line at plus 245, Arizona Coyotes puck line. Is that today? Yes. Okay, it is. Oh, wait a minute. The Blackhawks Ducks is tomorrow. I got to change out of that one. So it is going to be the under 5.5 in the Senators Islanders game instead. So it's Magic on the money
Thanks.
line, Coyotes minus 1.5, St. Louis Blues money line, and the under in the Islanders Senators game. $10 pays 471.92. I'm in.
I love it, Mitch.
So money. So much.
Well, I got a little visitor. She decided to jump on my lap. So maybe it's a good sign that we got to take the dogs today, you guys. Let's see. For my parlay, I'm going to take the New York Knicks plus the points, the under in the Bonnies and or St. Bonnies and Virginia game. And then let me just grab a hockey one for you here. Take the New York Rangers in regulation. I love the New York Rangers today. We've hit the New York Rangers as dogs the last 2 games in a row. They've been just rolling hot for us.
Nice. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you. We do the best that we can. It's like better late than never on this show. I kind of, I like doing a show whenever I can do it. And for me, my timing is so messed up. It feels like it's 4:00 in the morning anyhow. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to probably see you guys in a couple minutes because now I feel it is a challenge. I have to do my 7 picks in just 5 minutes. I feel cheated. It's going to be a lot of props in there and stuff though. So
Oh, for sure.
We'll do it. But thanks, everyone. Make it a winning day. We appreciate each and every one of you. So let's crush the books today.
Bye, guys.